sorry fans, we're just getting everything set up here to restart the Canadian Grand Prix after some technical difficulties. Well, we are getting a little bit closer to the start of the race. Let's see if I can find some of the stats quickly from our registered statistician, Raimai. Smith, Pell, and Raimai sitting at the top of the overall race starts here at 34. Most race wins in the Premier League goes to Owen Wilson and El Capitano with 6, tied for first. We haven't seen Capitano in a long time, but he does also hold a few of the current standing race records. Smith Pell sitting in number 1 with overall podiums at 15. A big jump down to P2 is 7. And the most pole positions in the Premier League goes to Hemi with 6, and Owen Wilson in second with 3. As the drivers are starting to ready up, we'll get closer to the start of the second Canadian Grand Prix of the evening. Alright, just moments away from the second lights out. The grid is set the same as it was at the end of qualifying. I do believe the weather is also set to mimic the first race here, so we'll see how the game, I guess, kind of figures that out. Thank you for sticking with us through these technical difficulties. Alright, and the drivers pull away from the grid to start the formation lap. cars coming around the final corner, making their way down the pit straight to the starting grid. Alright, the final few cars coming around to their starting positions. As we get set for lights out number 2. 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. Tension builds and it's lights out and away we go. Hemi getting another good start as they head down into turn 1. A little bit of chaos there. Oh, it's a bumping. The Ferrari goes into the back of Smith Pell. Detail cutting the chicane there, giving a couple positions back. Going too wide, good racing there as Detail comes out ahead of Hightower. Hightower trying to take it back, but can't quite get there. Evil Prime and Jay Kelly. Evil Prime getting the better of that. Niru trying to get a bit of a slingshot here, and Jay Kelly getting a slipstream in there. He won't quite get there before the chicane. He'll back off a little bit as they get through cleanly. Great racing here in the opening lap. Gap still maintaining pretty closely. Niru currently sitting in P8. As we hop on board the Alpine, as he's trying to catch up to Jay Kelly here. Gets a good exit. Gets in that slipstream, goes down the inside. And he'll make a spot up on the Aston Martin as they come down the back straight here, heading towards the final chicane at the Wall of Champions. Wilson setting the fastest lap right now with a 1:11.830 in the Williams. Race control has enabled DRS, so we're going to see some passes pretty quickly here. Evil Prime getting a 3-second time penalty in the Ferrari, the first one of the session. Evil Prime making up a spot on Stewart there at the end of the DRS zone. Labatt's with a 3-second time penalty as well. Smith Pell super close there. Detail getting by just before the chicane. Smith Pell making it by Fox, his previous teammate. Oh, as the Mercedes gets in the back of the Red Bull. Smith Pell coming out ahead on that one. Evil Prime closing in. He'll edge out on Holy Red Eye as Stewart's mounting a battle against him as well. Unholy Red Eye going around the outside, then the inside of Evil Prime. The AlphaTauri will take fourth away from the Ferrari. Stewart staying pretty close to the back of Evil. Ooh, and almost gets into the back of the Ferrari. Hash for the 3-second time penalty. Oh no, Jake Kelly is around and almost collects the Red Bull of LFR Psycho. Labatt's with a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Hash will head up back to the top of the grid here. Wait, we won't. Niru making a move on Stewart. Mo Powa taking a 3-second time penalty in the McLaren. Hash only 2/10 back of Hemi, and they will get DRS down this straight here. Owen Wilson closely behind. Hemi blocks that outside line as they go too wide. Owen Wilson went down the inside. He'll pass both of them. He waited back to let them battle it out, and he took advantage. Owen Wilson taking over the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix here on lap 7. Stewart in the pits in the Williams. Going from the softs to the mediums. Alright, Hemi only a couple tenths back of Owen Wilson, looking to get DRS. Owen Wilson did have a very good exit though. We'll see just how close Hemi can stay to the Williams ahead, trying to get some DRS down the back straight here. Oh, Owen Wilson went a little deep there. This may be an easy pass for the AlphaTauri as he dips around the inside. Owen Wilson going back in, trying to get that slipstream. Owen Wilson sticking on the back of him though pretty quickly. Unholy Red Eye making it by Evil Prime. Couple moves into that final chicane there. Lots of swapping back and forth. A lot of DRS here. We got a three-way battle headed into turn 1. That Ferrari sticking close to the gearbox of the Aston Martin ahead. Guitar Maniac putting the pressure on detail. Hoping for a bit of a slip up. Labatt's following closely behind. Hemi took over the lead again, as Owen Wilson will get DRS and will hop on board the Williams for this battle. Hemi staying ahead. We'll hop down to the bottom here. Jay Kelly mounting a battle against the Williams of Stewart. A couple of them will have DRS. Evil Prime and Niru both collecting 3-second time penalties for exceeding track limits. I think Guitar Maniac and Detail making it by the Ferrari. Stewart cruising by Hightower, and Jake Kelly's coming as well. So he goes down the inside and there's contact. Oh, and Jake Kelly just couldn't hang on to it. Unfortunately, Jake Kelly got the worst of that as Stewart makes it by the Haas of Hightower. Jake Kelly with a 3-second time penalty exceeding track limits, unfortunately. Guitar Maniac trying to go around the outside of the Aston Martin here. And he'll stick the move. I don't know if he'll have DRS, which he should. And there he goes as he starts cruising closer to the back of Silent Banshee as they head into the chicane. Guitar Maniac will try to catch him into turn 1, but it doesn't look. It looks like the Haas is just cruising. Couple cars in the pits. Evil Prime and Unholy Red Eye looking for a tire change. A lot of medium tires there on the grid, littered with a few softs and a set of hards there on the Haas of Hightower. Fox taking the 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. A few penalties starting to plague the grid now, as Guitar Maniac is trying to make a move on Silent Banshee. And he'll take the inside line. Silent Banshee will have to take a little bit inside of the curb. And he'll lose the spot to Guitar Maniac, unfortunately, but he will get DRS down the back straight. Oh no, Guitar Maniac led before the timing line. Major advantage to the Ferrari. Niru ducking into the pits in the Alpine, going from the softs to the mediums. Silent Banshee collecting a 3-second time penalty as well. Quick pit stop for the Alpine. A lot of position changes. Owen Wilson only 4/10 back of the leader, Hemi. Labatt's with a 3-second time penalty in the Mercedes. Owen Wilson trying to get a good exit there on Hemi, but Hemi has a pretty good gap here. It's a lot for the Williams to make up. He does close in a little bit before the chicane. Owen Wilson collecting a time penalty there, getting a little too outside of the limits. Looks like Evil Prime's closing in. Gets by Stuart Hash with a 3-second time penalty. Guitar Maniac putting a move on Silent Banshee here, trying to go down the inside. A little bit of contact. Silent Banshee coming out ahead in the Haas though. Looks like Guitar Maniac's looking to put the charge on in the DRS zone here. Gets a good exit on the Haas. Burning up all that ERS. Silent Banshee moves over, blocks the line. Stewart with a 3-second time penalty. Silent Banshee trying to go around the outside. Or, sorry, Guitar Maniac. He'll get DRS though, which should make it decently easy to pass the Haas. Maybe not though, as they go too wide into the chicane. Silent Banshee will lose 2 spots there to Detail and Guitar Maniac. Stewart only 5/10ths back of the Ferrari of Evil Prime, currently sitting in 10th. Gaps have opened up a little bit here. Hash making a move here on SZS Smith. And he'll get it done. A lot of these chicanes are almost a game of chicken. It's which driver decides to back out first almost. It's very hard to go too wide through there without making any contact. But the drivers have done a great job of it today. Hash currently sitting P5, closing in on the Red Bull of Smith Pell. Oh, we've got a spun Ferrari. Evil Prime, unfortunately. I must have missed that. Not quite sure what happened there on the back straight, but only a few of the drivers, probably about half the grid, has made pit stops so far. A lot of the drivers currently on mediums. And a ton of penalties plaguing the grid. Owen Wilson and Hemi really battling at the front of the grid here. Evil Prime and Jay Kelly. Jay Kelly made up a spot on Evil Prime as he was in the pits, but Evil Prime taking it back. Jay Kelly will have DRS down this small back straight here. Won't quite catch him, but he may be able to on this back straight. Evil Prime got a pretty good exit there. He is on fresh mediums. Hightower making it by Flavius just before the final chicane, but he picks up a 3-second time penalty in doing so. Majorly unfortunate for the Haas. An unholy red eye in his new car, the AlphaTauri. Trying to catch up to Nero here, which he may be able to do as they hit the back straight. The DRS helps a ton down this long straight. Smith Pell in the Red Bull, just about to leave the pits. He's got a fresh set of softs on. Looks like the weather's tending to hold out here. The driver's on some pretty nice track so far. Couple more drivers in the pits, the Red Bull of LFR Psycho and the McLaren of Flavius. Red-Eye right on the gearbox of the Alpine. I don't think you could be any closer. Oh, and the Guitar Maniac getting a little squirrely there, as he'll fall to a couple of the cars due to DRS. Owen Wilson 7/10 back of Hemi, as he'll grab the speed advantage here down the back straight detail with a 3-second time penalty in the Aston Martin. He'll only close up about a 10th here as Hemi dives into the pits. Unholy Red-Eye trying to get a spot from Niru here. Smith Pell getting by Guitar Maniac. Niru with a 3-second time penalty in the Alpine. Looks like Stewart and Unholy Red-Eye will grab DRS here along with Smith Pell. Cleanly through there, we're going to have a bit of a DRS train down the back straight. Looks like Smith Pell's getting by Unholy Red-Eye, and he sticks it. So we got about a 5-car battle here as we head through turn 2. Fantastic driving so far today. Unholy Red-Eye picking up another 3-second time penalty. Only 3 drivers on the grid without penalties so far. Hemi did lose the lead to Owen Wilson in that pit stop, but he's chipping away at that gap. Smith Pell and Stewart just going back and forth here. An exceptional battle. We're on lap 20 of 35 here of the Canadian Grand Prix. The season opener here for season 3, of the East Coast Formula One Championships Premier League. Looks like a couple drivers will decide to head into the pits for some fresh tires. Looks like Evil Prime's closing in on the back of Hightower. Hop on board the Ferrari here. With the help of that less downforce, he makes it by the Haas as Hightower dives into the pits. Smith Pell trying to stay close to Niru here. Evil Prime with a 3-second time penalty in the Ferrari. Oh! Smith Pell almost got into the back of Niru there. definitely need that DRS to help get back there. Silent Banshee going around the outside of Fox. Getting a slightly better exit with the soft tires. And the Haas will get DRS. Oh, as will the Mercedes. Absolute drag race down to the chicane. And Silent Banshee comes out ahead. Unfortunately, picking up a 3-second time penalty in the process. On board with the current leader here, Owen Wilson, in the Williams. He's currently hanging on to 6 seconds worth of penalties, so he needs to maintain that gap. He's on his original medium, so he will have to pit one more time, as where Hemi most likely will not, as we only have about 13 laps left here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Only a couple other drivers on their original tires by the looks of it here, so a few more pit stops to come. At the end of the pit stop there for Hemi, he had about a 15 to 16 second gap a few laps ago. He's down to 7, so he's definitely chipping away at those worn out tires of Owen Wilson. Unfortunately, Evil Prime gets called into the pits by his engineer, and that Ferrari will retire. Owen Wilson, he is in the pits now as Hemi takes the lead over. Owen Wilson opting for a new set of softs. S. Smith with a 3-second time penalty. 13 laps. Be curious to see how those tires hold up. Only 2 drivers remain without penalties so far. Labatt's currently with the lead and at 12 seconds. Near only 3/10 back of the Red Bull of Smith Pell. Close gaps have formed again here. Silent Banshee's coming up on the back of the Alfa Romeo as he looks down the inside, but Smith locks up a little bit, goes wide. The battle right behind them as Unholy Red Eye gets the upper hand. Smith got a good exit on Banshee as he goes around the outside of Labatt's. Everyone doing their best. Oh no. Oh, and some major contact there. Stewart getting a 5-second penalty for hitting Silent Banshee, who I believe was spun at the Wall of Champions. And we've got a VSC on lap 24 here, the Canadian Grand Prix. There was a huge crash there. Unfortunately, our cameras did not catch it. So I imagine Silent Banshee will be ducking back into the Haas pit, looking for some new carbon fiber. A few drivers taking advantage of it. Oh no, LFR Psycho getting a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. It's a huge penalty to take. Takes a long time to drive through the pits, unfortunately. A few drivers in the pits for some fresh tires to get to the end of the Canadian Grand Prix. Hightower, the 3-second time penalty. Smith Pell making up a spot on detail. Oh no. Niru is around at the Wall of Champions. Unfortunately, just past the pit entry. So he'll need to take a very slow lap around. He's missing his entire front wing. Unholy Red Eye goes around the outside of the Alfa Romeo of SZS Smith. Jay Kelly trying to catch up to Labatt's here. Won't quite get there before turn 1. We've got a spun Aston Martin. That's unfortunately detail as a couple guys go by him. As Labatt's comes cruising up behind the Aston Martin. Detail goes down the inside of Niru. Great pass by the Ferrari. Mo Powa setting the fastest lap with a 1:11.264. I couldn't tell if looks like the Aston Martin's front wing is okay. He'll be able to continue on. Niru diving into the pits to get that new wing. He made it all the way around. Fresh set of softs to finish off the remaining 8 laps here. Detail going a little wide. Labatt's tapping the wall. Jay Kelly coming up behind his teammate there. Labatt slightly with the upper hand in that quick Mercedes car. Detail getting a 3-second time penalty in the pursuit of the Mercedes ahead. But both Aston Martins will have DRS down this back straight, so that'll be a huge help. Detail only 2 3/10s back of the Mercedes. Who get DRS again. Try to mount a battle down into turn 1. And he goes around the outside, and he'll stick the move. Oh, but Labatt's going right back down the inside. And he'll take it back a couple turns later. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. And it is a good one between Aston Martin and Mercedes. Labatt's trying to get another run on him here. Or sorry, Detail is as he gets DRS again. We'll hop on board the Aston Martin as he shoots down the inside of the Mercedes into turn 1. Are we going to have a repeat to the previous lap? Almost, but Detail... Oh, as Flavius lets the drivers go by. And almost an exact repeat of the lap before. But Detail will come out ahead. Labatt's will grab DRS. He's got Jay Kelly on his gearbox here. The Aston Martin and Jay Kelly is on the hunt. Goes down the inside of the Mercedes. Jay Kelly taking the long way around, getting a better exit with those soft tires. Stewart with a 3-second time penalty. Both cars getting DRS. It looks like the Aston Martin is a little bit quicker than the Silver Arrow. He'll get the move done. Owen Wilson closing in quick on Hash. Owen Wilson trying to go around the outside, then the inside. Little bit of contact, and Owen Wilson comes out ahead, taking P2 from the Alpine. Jay Kelly getting by both cars here. As Detail will have DRS on the Mercedes at Labatt's as Jay Kelly kind of runs away from that. Oh, and there's contact. And Detail spins into the runoff area. Loses multiple positions. With only 3 laps to go, he'll pull back into the pits for a fresh set of softs to try and mount a battle in the final laps here. Silent Banshee and Niru very close. Niru got a very good exit on the Haas, but Silent Banshee defends pretty well here. Silent Banshee picking up another 3 seconds. Not very uncommon, so to speak, of the amount of penalties that we've seen here. It's very easy to pick up those track limit penalties, so they tend to add up in a hurry. Nero forced to take the runoff there. Neither driver wanted to give up any space. Silent Banshee looking to go on the outside here of the Silver Arrow of Fox. A little bit of contact into turn 2. Owen Wilson getting another 3-second time penalty. There's going to be a lot of swapping, I think, once the checkered flag is waved. Near only 2/10 back of Fox. Oh no, we got a spun Mercedes. That's Labatt's. Oh no! Overheated tires and completely blows off the front wing. Oh, and almost spins into another car there. Oh, wow. Oh, and there it is. Those overheated tires, he just couldn't keep them underneath the car. With 3 laps to go, Labatt's will retire. It is late in the race. I don't believe we're going to have a safety car. Hemi picked up his first time penalty of the session. Still with a 9-second advantage on the second place runner of Owen Wilson. Majorly unfortunate to Labatt's, losing it in the final moments here. Southern Banshee trying to close in on Miru here in the Alpine. Unholy Red-Eye getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Fox getting another penalty as well. Guitar Maniac only 4/10 back of Smith. Gets DRS down the back straight, looks towards the inside. Won't quite catch him here, but may look to get him into turn 1. And he gets the move done on the Alfa Romeo. We're on the final lap here. And Hemi takes the win for AlphaTauri. Owen Wilson coming across the line in second. Hash running out of fuel. And he'll take 3rd place here in the Canadian Grand Prix. Mo Pawa taking 4th. The gaps have opened up quite a bit, so there isn't actually as much switching as I would have thought. Smith Pell coming home in 5th for Red Bull. Looks like Unholy Red-Eye, I'll take 6th. Guitar Maniac in 7th, and SZS Smith coming home in 8th. And that'll do it here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Round 1 of the 3rd season here, the East Coast Formula 1 Championship. The win going to Hemi, and Driver of the Day award going to the Red Bull driver of Smith Pell. Congrats to him. A pretty crazy race. Some technical difficulties early on, requiring a restart. But nonetheless, some great racing as Hemi takes the top step of the podium. Your winner, Hemi, in the AlphaTauri. joined by Owen Wilson and Hash. Hash taking the fastest lap with a 1:10.466. Mo Powa with P4. Smith Pell P5. 6th goes to Unholy Red Eye. 7th is Guitar Maniac. 8th SZS Smith and Alfa Romeo. 9th goes to Jay Kelly. Rounding out the top 10 is Niru in the Alpine. Silent Banshee P11. P12 goes to Hightower. P13 is Fox. 14th Detail. 15th LFR Psycho. Stewart will take P16. Flavius in the McLaren will take P17. And unfortunately the Bats, with that late retirement, and Evil Prime earlier on called into the pits to retire the Ferrari. A ton of penalties. Flavius in the McLaren, the only driver to not get a time penalty. So great work on his part. See if I can't get any of the drivers in. For a quick interview. Alright, looks like the drivers aren't available for any press time. Thank you for joining us and sticking around past some of our technical difficulties here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Next week, we are off to Australia. We're going to Albert Park in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. That'll be next Wednesday, same time, same place. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next week.